Here's an update on Trump's bread and circus tactics and why I think he's going to have a bigger platform at the Daytona 500 than he had at the Super Bowl. If you're following Trump's bread and circus tactics to keep us distracted from his policies, let's talk about what has happened and what we can expect to happen next. Last week, I talked about the Daytona 500 and the Super Bowl, how Trump was going to attend both of those after he had made an announcement during the College Football National Championship game. And we saw at the Super Bowl on Sunday night his appearance. Now, overall, from what I saw, his appearance was fairly limited on the broadcast. It looks like there was a short pregame interview with Fox with Trump, and he was shown during the national anthem, which is not at all surprising. That's where you would probably expect to show a president or a dignitary of some kind. If you're like me, you were expecting to see Trump maybe a little bit more on the broadcasts, but there was a lot going on during the game, a lot of other celebrities, and of course the commercials. So all in all, maybe not that surprising that he was shown just a little bit during the game and before the game. Of course, that's overlooking all the media and the coverage that happened about him being there before and after, and pictures, and I think they showed him greeting some of the players for a little bit on the field as well. Contrasting that to NASCAR, and in 2020, when Trump visited the Daytona 500 a couple years back. During that visit, it was a very involved, very Trump-focused broadcast. In fact, Trump got to ride around the track before the cars went on track in his presidential mobile, and they talked about how big and fast the vehicle is. Trump also was shown in a lot of social media posts from drivers and teams, meeting them, shaking their hands, things like that, which is also not that surprising, kind of similar to how he greeted players on the field for the Super Bowl. But NASCAR also let him speak to the drivers while they were on track before the start of the race. He had a message where he could speak on the radio to all channels, just as NASCAR can talk to all the drivers and have radio communication to their teams. They let him share a message with all the drivers before the race. He was so involved in the beginning of the race that it has actually delayed the start of the race, so much so that we ran into a shower happening in Florida, of course, that caused for the race to be delayed all the way until the next day. What can we expect for Sunday's Daytona 500? I'm honestly not sure. But if I had to guess, I would guess that it would be very involved, just like it was in 2020. I don't know if Trump will do a lap around the track again, but I expect some sort of message, some sort of introduction to the crowd. Very different from the Super Bowl, where he just kind of sat in his box and, maybe was shown in some other different ways and introduced in some ways. It sounds like there was some mix of whether he was cheered or booed, maybe a bit of both. But I am expecting and preparing for a very involved Trump broadcast and Trump in the Daytona 500.